Today we're going to take a look at the best applications for managing Bitcoin wallets on Linux. Now you might be wondering, why do I need a standalone separate application on my computer to manage my Bitcoin wallets when I can just create an account on an exchange like Coinbase or Binance and purchase some Litecoin, Bitcoin, or whatever crypto, and I'm automatically going to have a wallet generated for that currency in my exchange account. There's a few reasons why you wouldn't want to have a wallet on these exchanges, or at least why you would want to have a wallet outside of these exchanges. And the main one is that you can have more control over the wallet. So the wallets that are created for you by these exchanges are ultimately controlled by those exchanges, and they are only accessible as long as you have an account with them. And your account can of course be terminated for, all sorts of different reasons, right? Not following the acceptable use policy of the exchanges, or if you are suspected of some kind of criminal activity, the exchange may get a request from law enforcement to freeze the assets that you have in there, or possibly even lock you out of your account, and you won't be able to withdraw or spend any crypto if that happens. The wallets that I'm going to be showing you today are what's called non-custodial, which essentially means that you have ultimate control over the account. You're basically your own bank, so nobody can defund or freeze your assets except for you. And another reason for having wallets outside of exchanges is that when you create a crypto wallet with an exchange, all of your personal information is connected to those wallet addresses, which really ruins the privacy of the crypto, at least as far as the exchange is concerned, because they know which wallet address is yours, as well as every other wallet that you transfer funds to if they are created through Coinbase or whatever exchange. And of course, if it's something like a public store, then they can probably just look up the wallet and figure out who that is. But if it's just a personal wallet, there's really no way to know whether it was created through an exchange or not, and thus whether it has personal information connected to it. An exchange can potentially have just as much insight into your spending habits as a credit card company would with your transactions on the credit card. And finally, a wallet that is in your control has the potential to be more secure than a wallet that is controlled by the exchange. So some of the wallets that I'm going to show you today, they allow for things like two-factor authentication, cold storage, and you alone are probably not as big of a target as an entire crypto exchange is to hackers, which means that there probably won't be as many attempts to hack your wallet alone versus hacking every single wallet that is managed by an exchange. And there's always the possibility that your OPSEC is simply going to be better than the exchanges. Who knows? So now that you're convinced, let's actually take a look at these wallets. So the first one is Electrum, an open source Bitcoin wallet that has support for two-factor authentication, cold storage, hardware wallets, Lightning Network, and other third-party plugins. It's available from electrum.org. It's cross-platform. You can use it on Mac and Windows, and there's an app image available for Linux. And it's got this nice dark theme, which really is reason enough to use it, but whatever. So if we head on over to this Receive tab here, this is where we can start creating wallets. And all we need to do to create a wallet is just click this new address button. And you'll see it's as easy as that to create new wallet addresses. You'll see each one of these up here is a different address. Same thing with the QR code, different address, and none of my personal information was collected in order to create these. So I have a whole bunch, and you can probably start getting an idea that if you can transfer funds between these different wallets, it's going to start to make it really difficult for anybody who's trying to analyze my transactions or just analyze the blockchain in general to figure out that these transactions are mine. Well, they're on video now, so besides that. But you get the point. You could literally give a different wallet address to every different person that you meet, or hell, you could even use a different wallet for every single transaction from every single person that you're ever going to meet. So if we take a look at our tools up here and we go to network, we can pick which servers that we want to use, or you can just select the server automatically. That's the default value. And if we go over to proxy, we see that we have the option of either specifying our own specific proxy, so we can do a SOCKS 4 or 5 proxy, or we can use a Tor proxy. So that's going to send all of our transactions and everything that's going to use the network, other than updates. I'm pretty sure that updates are still handled normally, but everything regarding your funds is going to be sent over Tor if you check this box off. So that can be useful for masking your identity further. Let's take a look at the Preferences tab next. So of course you've got your general settings here. If we go over to transactions, this is where things start to get interesting. So use replace by fee. That lets you replace an older version of a transaction with an updated one that has a higher transaction fee. So let's say that your transaction gets rejected due to the fee being too low. You can go ahead and use this. Batch RBF transactions, that's going to let you send a bunch of rejected transactions at once with a higher fee. And this saves you money because remember, with Bitcoin, you're charged for the number of bytes that you're using, and individual transactions, like a bunch of little transactions, are going to use more bytes than one big batch transaction. Then there is the advanced preview, and well, I guess I should just give you a little look at what the regular preview looks like. So this is when we go to send Bitcoin. Yeah, sure, we'll say like 1 penny. I'm not actually going to send this. So this is what the regular view looks like. And you can change your fee rate here. So like right now it's using static. This is like the absolute lowest. But it makes sense because, see, we're sending 1 penny. So we're still going to get a mining fee of 7 cents, which is the reason why you really don't want to use Bitcoin for sending small transactions, because you're just going to get absolutely raped by the mining fees. You usually want to use, or I would say I don't really recommend using Bitcoin if you're going to be sending like less than $500 or something like that. It just doesn't really make sense. So ETA, this is pretty much what your default fee rate would be in Electrum. So you can see like $7.23. Obviously you'd want to change that. But anyway, this is the advanced view that is more advanced. So there's more things that you can tweak here inside of that view, and checking that box in the preferences is just going to make this always default to this view. So we'll just close out of that and go back into our preferences. So use change address. It's enabled by default, and this helps to protect your privacy a bit. So a change address is going to be generated automatically when you send funds to someone. And you can use multiple change addresses for doing this. Spend only confirmed coins, so that does exactly what it sounds like. It's only going to let you spend coins that have been confirmed transfer to you. And enable output value rounding. That helps a bit with privacy too, by making your outputs have similar precision to other outputs, so it's going to be a little bit harder to uniquely identify transactions if you're analyzing the blockchain. But this could cost you a few Satoshis, up to about 100 or so per transaction, because it's rounding the transactions. And then there's also the Lightning Network, which allows for faster transactions. And this is what has been proposed as the solution to Bitcoin's scalability problem. Now, this is an experimental feature, so it isn't really recommended for you to send large amounts of Bitcoins through here. If something goes wrong, there's really no way to recover it. And besides, if you were sending a large amount of Bitcoin, you could just pay a higher transaction fee on the regular network. You saw that the average transaction over here was, what, $7. So yeah, if you're going to send like $7,000 in Bitcoin, paying $7, you're not even going to really notice that. You could even increase it to be higher, like $10, and then it's going to go through pretty quickly, and it's just not going to make any difference to you. But yeah, Lightning Network is going to be better for sending those smaller transactions that would take several days to confirm, with really low transactions fees on the regular network. The last wallet that we're going to take a look at today is the Wasabi wallet. Now, this wallet doesn't have quite as many features as Electrum does, but Wasabi is generally considered to be one of the most private Bitcoin wallets that are out there. So by default, this wallet sends all of its traffic through the Tor network. And Wasabi also has CoinJoin built into it, which is a Bitcoin mixing mechanism that helps to obfuscate the origin of a specific Bitcoin by just mixing your transaction with a lot of other people's. Now, one thing that's important to point out is Bitcoin mixing can potentially attract unwanted attention. It's not really illegal. Like, at least in Western countries, it's not really illegal, but like, let's say, for example, you purchase Bitcoins from Coinbase and you want to remove your personal information from those coins. So you put them into CoinJoin. Your legit Bitcoins could end up getting mixed with Bitcoins that were used for illegal activity. And since the coins that you put in there are easily traced back to you because you just bought them from an exchange, law enforcement might start investigating you for illegal activity, mostly money laundering, because by you being in CoinJoin, you technically are, although not directly being aware of it, going to be helping criminals launder their money. So think of it like this. So imagine every dollar bill had a nano-sized tracker on it, and you just happened to mix some of your money with cartel money, right? Like maybe you went to a bodega to buy something and they gave you change, but that bodega is really just a front for the cartel. So you end up leaving that bodega with some of their bills, that is cartel money. The DEA, they're going to want to have a word with you if they find out that, hey, you've got cartel bills. So this is why it's usually a good idea to remove as much personal information from the coins yourself, maybe by transferring them through a couple of Electrum or Wasabi wallets, because as I showed you, you can basically just create as many as you want and none of those addresses are directly connected to you. And you can even send them over Tor before going through CoinJoin, either in Electrum or in Wasabi. But better yet, like if you really don't want anything to be traced back to you, you should just use a cryptocurrency that's built from the ground up with privacy in mind, like Monero. So that's going to be it for this video on desktop crypto wallets and why you should use them. I hope you found this video helpful. Have a great day.